So here's a picture of a black woman with a little white girl who she calls her daughter, but that's clearly not her daughter. Maybe it's her stepdaughter or adopted daughter, but that's clearly not her daughter, right? Now, I get calling your stepkids and your adopted kids your daughters and sons instead of adding those prefixes, because of course the whole point is, I love you just like my own biological child, right? But I mean, it look a little cray in the, in an example like this. But whatever, that's not even the point of this video, right? So this black woman is with this little white girl. She says, well, my daughter thinks that I'm just brushing her hair out, but I'm really actually preparing my future 613 bundles. Now, if I'm not mistaken, 613 is a blonde color of bundles. Now, when I used to wear weave, I always wore 1B off black, matched my hair color, right? But I'm pretty sure 613 is blonde bundles. And let me tell y'all something. I don't think stuff like this is funny. Maybe I'm just taking it too seriously. Okay, because sometimes, somebody always got to take something too seriously. Maybe that's me. Y'all tell me if y'all disagree or whatever. But I think that it's weird to sit here and joke about wearing other races' hair on your head. Like, I think that's odd. Now, let me make it very clear that the point of this video is not for me to police anybody's hair or tell them what they should or should not be doing with it, because I already feel the think pieces coming up in the media comments. Flower Tower, you're policing what black women should do with our hair. We can't win for losing, so and so and so. Girl, that's between you, God, the devil, and the beauty supply. That don't have nothing to do with Flower Tower. I really could not care less, okay? But again, maybe I'm just taking it too seriously, but I do think it's odd when we sit here and we joke about wearing other races' hair on our heads. Like, it's weird. You sitting here brushing a white girl's hair and cracking a joke about longing for it. I want that Caucasian Becky hair. Like, that's weird. It really is. I think worshiping is a good word to use for this, because it's literally you looking at non-black women's hair and you're like, oh yeah, I want that on my head. That's odd. And whenever I bring this conversation up, right, people claim that it's all about just, switching your hair up. Oh, I like to wear wigs because I like to wear different hairstyles. I can take this wig off today and put that wig on tomorrow, right? But I have asked the question before, okay, if it's about just wearing, different hairstyles, right? Because I get that. You don't want to be stuck in the same hairstyle for too long. You want to switch it up, right? Why are all the hairstyles always bone straight? Why is it never like, oh, I got an afro wig on this day, I got a straight wig on the next, I got this, like the wigs and weaves don't vary in texture that much. Now hold up, because y'all finna be like, well, hold up, because I got Brazilian wavy, not straight. Okay, all right. But what I'm saying is that y'all don't be wearing black textured wigs in the lineup of the diversity of wigs, okay? When y'all say, oh, I want to switch my hairstyle up, y'all are talking about the hair color. So you'll wear a straight wig that's blonde today and a straight wig that's black tomorrow and a straight wig that's brown the next day, and that's all of the switching up that you do, right? It doesn't actually switch up the texture by much, because again, I know somebody finna come with the, oh, well, I bought body wave. Okay, we talking about black hair textures, right? Why the wigs don't never have black hair textures? And my point in saying all this is to say, a lot of times we pretend that this wig stuff is just about, protective styling. You want to keep your hair protected up underneath that, low manipulation and stuff, right? And it's, just about, oh, I want to switch up my hairstyles, right? But the hairstyles that you are choosing in the switch up and the language that you use concerning these bundles and stuff and the worshiping that you do of other races of women's hair, it makes it very obvious that there is something deeper underneath all of this wig stuff. That's part of the reason that I stopped wearing wigs and weaves, because don't get me wrong, I look good with them. To be fair, I look good with every hairstyle. That's just the life of a flower. Come on now, right? But I stopped wearing wigs and weaves because it's like, for me personally, I'm not talking about nobody else. And I actually had this conversation in real life with someone who feels similarly about me concerning things like white supremacy. Like we both be like, that's nonsense, so, yada, yada, yada. And one day she asked me, I don't know how I got brought up, or maybe I just mentioned, oh, I don't really wear weave anymore, right? And she asked me why. And I said, well, for me, it doesn't really make sense for me to sit here talking about Eurocentric standards of beauty and how they don't make sense. And then I walk around with a straight weave on my head. That don't really make sense. And I'm not saying that you can't be pro-black or anything like that with a straight wig or weave, but again, take a second to think about if that is the only type of hairstyle that you wear, because I feel like it would be significantly different if, okay, you wore a straight wig this time, but then you had braids that time, you wore your real hair that time, so and so and so, but like the only hairstyles you wear conform to Eurocentric standards of beauty. It's like, like the meow don't quite meow there. I remember one time I got my real hair braided, and it was a very cute hairstyle. It was like some cute braids up into a ponytail, right? And people kept saying that I look like a little kid. I look so young, so and so and so. And I was like, how do I look like a little kid? I look like a grown-ass woman who has her hair braided up into a ponytail. But then I realized the average black woman hasn't worn her real hair since she was a little ass kid. That's the reality. And of course, there are exceptions to every rule. Of course, y'all finna be in the comments, not me, not me. But be for real though. If you go to a black city, and I'm gonna use Detroit as an example because I'm from Detroit, right? If you go to a black city and you walk down the street, how many black women are you gonna see with like their hair styled in a natural way? The most you might see is a black woman with her hair silk pressed. Okay, you may very well see that, right? But you're not really going to see grown black women with their hair in natural styles for the most part. Now, I will say that in recent years, natural hair has becoming more popular and stuff, right? But it's still not that common, right? The average adult black woman is not wearing her real hair braided up or in any type of natural fashion. That is the rule. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. There are some black women who are natural. They don't wear weave. They always got their hair in a natural style, yes. But the rule still stands, right? And that's what made me think about, like, yeah, the average person hasn't seen an adult black woman with a hairstyle like this, so they associate it with childhood. Because the last time most of us have had a hairstyle like this was when we was like 8. Because by the time little girls get to be about 9, when I was 9, little girls already had silk presses and sew-ins. By the time I was in 4th grade, I kid you not, right? And that's ridiculous. And for us to sit here and pretend that all of this is just about, oh yeah, the diversity in hairstyles, I just want to switch my hair up, so and so and so. But your shit flat ironed every day of the fucking year. So it can't actually be about that. And I just wish we would be more honest with the conversations that we're having. And mind you, I'm not about to sit here and pretend that I'm perfect and that no, aspect of white supremacy affects me at all in any capacity. Because look at my edges, looking all crunchy. Let me tell you why they look crunchy like that. Because I had them gelled down the last few days. Why would I have my edges gelled down? Because that ain't how my edges grow. And that ain't how your edges grow either. I know it's finna be some of y'all in the comments, well, I got baby hairs in the front of my head. Well, bitch, I don't. And neither do most of us, okay? So most of us got B2Bs in the front, B2Bs all over the motherfucking top in the middle, and B2Bs in the back too, okay? So why are gelled down edges such a large part of our hairstyles? Oh, because according to white supremacy, that looks neater than having kinky edges, right? So look at me, still gelling down my edges, right? So I'm not finna sit here and act like I'm just so above everything, right? Because that's not true. But realistically, I mean, at least I can acknowledge that I have unpacking to do. A lot of you motherfuckers is still sitting there in la la land acting like there's no issue here. Now, speaking of bundles, I might have to get a couple for my Lissy kids. Well, not a couple, like a quarter of a bundle for my Lissy, because she need a protective style real bad.